Welcome to the news on NTA International. My name is Frama Panyi. Taiwo Ozoma is the interpreter for the hearing impaired. And just so you know, this news can be watched on the various social media platforms displayed on your screen. Let's start with the headlines. President Tinubu concludes official state visit to Netherlands with possible areas of collaboration in focus. World Bank Food and Agriculture Organization launched 50 by 2030 initiative to capture reliable data for improved yields. And civil society organizations decry weak physical structure in some correctional centers in Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu has concluded his official state visit to the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Earlier, our State House correspondent Musbaud and Wahab joined us from The Hague for an update. He gives us an idea of the outcomes of the state visit and possible areas of collaboration.
The assignment is concluded here for President Bola Tinubu in the Kingdom of Netherlands on the state visit on invitation of the Prime Minister Mark Rutte, where a lot of agreements have been reached, and he has now proceeded to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, particularly for another critical assignment where the World Economic Forum will be taking place. Now, that is another very critical assignment for President Bola Tinubu because issues concerning Nigeria will be discussed here, talking about global collaboration, growth, and energy for development. It's going to be another opportunity for President Bola Tinubu to meet with world leaders again, and of course captains of industry on how to collaborate or how to boost the economy of Nigeria. Now, talking about the achievements here in the Netherlands, the president led a team that has successfully met with various companies here in the Netherlands, and some agreements have been reached, particularly in the area of agriculture, and there's also an agreement on collaboration on research and development. And again, Minister of Marine and Blue Economy Adegboyega Oyetola also told the Port of Rotterdam on possible knowledge transfer to the Nigeria Port Authority. So that is expected to be part of the gains from the state visit to the Kingdom of Netherlands. And we spoke to our Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tuga, who highlighted some of the gains from this state visit.
WAMCO is here. It's a Dutch company. There is a lot they're doing. They had engagements with the Minister for Agriculture. They were already engaging each other. So we discussed the National Livestock Transformation Plan. They want to improve the breed of our cattle so that they produce more milk, and they are going to be the guaranteed off-takers for the milk that will be produced, that would accrue from that improvement. So these are things, and through the improvement of the cattle, the cows, and their yield, we also hope to tackle the issue of farmer-herder conflict, and that was the essence of the National Livestock Transformation Plan.
And again, on the pending issue of a joint bi-national commission to coordinate affairs between Nigeria and the Kingdom of Netherlands, a step further has been achieved, and we also got some reactions on these from the minister.
There was the agreement that we need to have a bi-national commission, and this is something we also discussed with Mr. President and the Prime Minister. So to formalize the relationship even further, so that we'll be able to have more production done in Nigeria in terms of the supply and value chains.
And so, after all of these meetings and the agreement reached, it is expected that all of them will be finalized for the implementation to begin in earnest and for the manifestation to begin as well for the country to the betterment of the country and its economy.
Right, Musbahu, thank you for that update from Hague. Now, moving on, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken meets with Wang Xiaohong, China's Minister of Public Security in Beijing. Both sides stress the importance of cooperation in counter-narcotics. Comfort Fashion has details.
Blinken said he had an extensive and constructive conversation in more than 5.5 hours of meeting with the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. A U.S. official said he directly raised areas of difference, including Russia, Taiwan, and trade. Blinken raised concerns with Wang over China's support for Russia, which has rapidly rebuilt its military base 2 years into its invasion of Ukraine.
Russia would struggle to sustain its assault on Ukraine without China's support.
Blinken also appealed for calm from China ahead of next month's inauguration of a new president in Taiwan, the self-governing democracy claimed by Beijing.
Our ability to cooperate in this area, to show results, will have a very positive impact on relations between our countries and
he asked Beijing to use its leverage with Iran to encourage restraint in its increasingly open conflict with Israel. And China, in turn, has been infuriated by President Joe Biden's pressure on the economic front, which is unlikely to ease during an election year, which includes a sweeping ban on semiconductor exports and efforts to wrest blockbuster video app TikTok away from its Chinese owners. However, Wang told Blinken that relations between the two world's largest economies were beginning to stabilize, especially after Biden and Xi met in November near San Francisco. At the same time, Wang said the negative factors in the relationship are still increasing and building. Comfort Fashion, NTA News.
50 by 2030, an initiative of the World Bank and Food and Agriculture Organization designed to capture precise and reliable data for improved yields and smart agriculture in Nigeria, has been launched in Abuja. Charles Alpha has more.
Agriculture, at the center of the Nigerian economy, serves as a means of livelihood. But a data deficit on how to adequately address food shortages exists. And so, the 50 by 2030 Data Smart Agriculture launched by the World Bank and the United Nations in Abuja is meant to provide solutions based on facts and figures.
Whether it's climate smart agriculture, whatever we do, we have to make the best use of data.
These projects, as well as we all know, will also facilitate computing SDG.
The 50 by 2030 initiative is actually here to support the country.
The Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas, believes the 50 by 2030 will bring about yields that are resistant to drought and general climate impact.
All along we found that there's a lot of data deficit in agriculture. So this initiative, whatever policies that come out of agriculture, will be rooted in facts and figures.
This initiative being introduced today will lead to decisions that will help food production.
We are not only going to be looking at production in agriculture, we are also going to be having data on climate change.
The 50 by 2030 Data Smart Agriculture initiative is believed will provide strength and capacity to capture acceptable data of farmers and their farm produce for necessary action. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
TikTok's Chinese parent company, ByteDance, says it has no intention of selling the business after the U.S. passed a law to force it to sell the popular video app or be banned in America. Comfort Fashion has more.
Earlier this week, TikTok said it will challenge in court the unconstitutional U.S. law. The statement from ByteDance came in response to an article by the technology industry website, The Information, that said it was exploring the potential sale of TikTok's operation in the U.S. without the algorithm that powers it. Beijing's tightening grip on private companies has raised concerns in the U.S. and other Western countries about how much control the Chinese Communist Party has over ByteDance and the data it holds. TikTok has repeatedly denied the claims that the Chinese government has control over ByteDance. The sell or ban measure was signed into law by U.S. President Joe Biden on Wednesday. However, TikTok is not facing an immediate ban in the U.S. The new law gives ByteDance 9 months to sell the business and an additional 3 months grace period before a potential ban can be enforced, which means the sale deadline will most likely come sometimes in 2025 after the winner of the 2024 presidential election takes over office. The Chinese government has also dismissed such concerns as paranoia and has warned that a TikTok ban will inevitably cause more harm for the U.S. Comfort Fashion, NTA News.
2 men have been charged with immigration offenses after an investigation into the deaths of 5 migrants, including a child in the English Channel. 3 men, a woman and a 7-year-old girl died in a crash on board a boat carrying 112 people on Tuesday. Tajdin Abdulaziz Juma and Yen, both from South Sudan, have both been remanded in custody. The charged men are both aged 22 and accused of attempting to arrive in the UK without valid entry clearance. They are due to appear at Folkestone Magistrates Court later. The vessel got into trouble after leaving Wimrox in northern France, and police witnessed people entering the water from the overboard boat. Some 49 people were rescued, but 58 others opted to remain in the boat and continue towards the UK, the Coast Guard said in a statement. Azerbaijan is defending its legitimacy as the host of COP29, which will take place in November 2024. Speaking in Berlin at the Pittsburgh Climate Dialogue, President Ilham Aliyev said, as an oil-producing nation, his country's oil and gas will be needed to fund the Clean Energy Initiative. Comfort Fashion has the details.
A study by the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank shows that the climate crisis will make temperatures in Azerbaijan rise faster than the global average. In addition, the country will face severe climate stress due to increasing extreme weather events, agricultural losses, and adverse health impact. Addressing the Petersburg Climate Dialogue ahead of the 2024 Conference of the Parties, COP29, President Aliyev said that having oil and gas deposits is not the country's fault.
Having oil and gas deposits, it's a gift of the God. We must be judged not by that, we must be judged by how we use these reserves for the development of the country, for reduction of poverty, unemployment.
2,4 Billionen US-Dollar jährlich werden laut der
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz emphasized that the independent high-level expert group on climate finance will require about $2.4 trillion yearly by 2030 for the transformation in developing and emerging economies. This, he said, is a huge sum that public money alone from a manageable group of countries will not be enough for investments of this magnitude. Azerbaijan is hosting the COP29 in November, with a former oil executive serving as conference president. Comfort Fashion, NTA News.
Let's take a short break now. More reports when we return. Welcome back. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia says it is committed to providing humanitarian aid to Nigeria in the interest of Nigerians. This was during the handover of 100 tons of Saudi premium dates to Nigeria in Abuja for distribution. Dr. Alabi reports.
Over the years, Saudi Arabia's monarch humanitarian aid and relief centers have been providing support to Nigeria, with the most recent being the NTAi initiative in March 2024 by distributing food baskets worth $400,000 to about 6,000 households spread across Kano, Jigawa, Katsina, Borno, and Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The donation was received by Nigeria's Deputy Director, Middle East and Gulf Division, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Murtala Jima, and Saudi Arabia Ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Faisal Ibrahim El-Ghamdi, says giving dates is part of annual humanitarian aid besides other interventions of 98 projects in the country valued at $47.2 million in food security, health, early recovery, sanitation and hygiene, education and charitable assistance by the custodian of the two holy mosques.
We have economic and political issues, especially after the meeting of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu with the royal car with the Crown Prince, where we are expecting a strong relationship in economic and trade.
Very soon, the two countries is going to inaugurate a business council, which is going to Nigeria-Saudi Business Council, which is going to oversee business and economic partners, drive it between the two countries. So we are really moving forward.
The Saudi Ministry of Islamic Affairs has been coordinating King Salman's distribution of dates in 93 countries and iftar banquets in 60 nations. In Abuja, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
Stakeholders in the cotton sector in Nigeria are brainstorming on new strategies to revamp the cotton industry. At a town hall meeting at the instance of the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Nkiruka Uzoka Anite, on cotton value chain, key players, including the Federation of Agricultural Commodity Association of Nigeria, FACAN, made submissions on the proposed cotton revitalization program of the present administration.
Investing in bringing in new machinery if your machinery is already moribund and outdated, bringing in new technologies that will help us to improve the productive capacity of your factories, training your staff, bringing the right seeds and inputs, and making all that is necessary to ensure that the yield is guaranteed, and in the right quantity, in the right quality, and that we can actually even be able to compete internationally.
There was an issue of solution for the lady from Ghana. The minister has said what we want now is solution. We know the problem is among ourselves. We know what we need to do. We've gotten the commitment of Arise as leading two of his staff here to go around. I told him and he agreed. We will be more in going around in identifying the areas of the hard issues, identifying the farms, identifying the factories, what are the equipment that are available, which ones are not there, what we need to do.
Now, President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Jim Ovia, a renowned banker and businessman, as the chairman of the board of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund. Mr. Ovia is the founder of one of Nigeria's leading banks and a respected business leader. He is an alumnus of Harvard Business School and holds a master's in business administration from the University of Louisiana. A statement by the Presidential Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngalale, says the National Student Loan Program is a pivotal intervention that seeks to guarantee sustainable higher education and functional skills development for all Nigerian students and youth. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund, the implementing institution of this innovation, demands excellence and Nigerians of the finest professional ilk to guide and manage. The President believes Mr. Ovia will bring his immense wealth of experience and professional stature to this role to advance the all-important vision of ensuring that no Nigerian student suffers in the course of their pursuit of higher education over lack of funds. And in response to current environmental challenges posed by flooding, erosion, drought and desertification, the National Economic Council's ad hoc committee says it has developed a comprehensive roadmap. Co-chair of the Technical Committee and Minister of State for Water Resources and Sanitation, Bello Muhammad Goruyo, announced this in Abuja at the end of the committee's work. Usman Zubairu has more.
For over the years, flooding, erosion, desertification and drought are major environmental problems most parts of Nigeria are faced with. In response to the consequences of these challenges to the environment, the federal government set up an ad hoc committee to finalize recommendations and suggestions to address these numerous challenges. The committee has concluded that assignment. The roadmap is aimed at enhancing Nigerians' preparedness in tackling environmental challenges in the country.
This is one of the reports that has distinguished itself from the various reports. If before we were talking about flood disaster, this one we are talking of drought, desertification, erosion, and so many other disasters.
If recommendations from the committee's reports are implemented, the Minister of State for Water Resources and Sanitation, Bello Muhammad Goruyo, is optimistic that Nigeria will better manage issues of flood, drought and desertification. He emphasized that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu places high priority on the welfare of Nigerians. The Minister acknowledged the completion of the committee's tasks, expressed confidence that the report will be effectively utilized for informed decision and policy formulation.
We will not stand on top, push and support this cause so that this country will be a better place for all of us.
The report will be forwarded to the main committee for further action and subsequent transmission to the National Economic Council for consideration. In Abuja, Usman Zubairu, NTA News.
Now to judiciary matters. The codification of the appointment of judicial officers to reduce discretion in the process is one of the recommendations of the National Summit of Justice 2024. Participants at the two-day summit are of the opinion that the development will enhance access to justice in Nigeria. Mina Daniels of our judiciary desk reports.
The summit takes a critical look at the judicial appointment process and harps on the need to place premium on an improved transparency, meritocracy, and meaningful performance evaluation of those who seek judicial office. Participants are equally of the view that critical reforms should be carried out in the justice sector. Funding, budgeting, and administration for the judiciary also attract the attention of participants at the summit. Key players say the current process of funding the court is totally deficient. The independence of the judiciary and the need to professionalize the administration of the courts with clear separation from administration of justice also took the front burner. In addition, the automatic right of appeal to the Supreme Court is to be severely curtailed.
Improving access to justice, improving efficiency in service delivery, and strengthening the independence of the judiciary. The revised national policy on justice, he said, proposes interventions in areas such as human rights protection, fair trial mechanisms, alternative dispute resolution, and technological advancements for a more efficient system. The summit acknowledged the importance of collaboration between various stakeholders, including the executive, the judiciary, the Nigerian Bar Association, and various development partners to achieve these goals.
Discipline both at the bar and on the bench to enhance the quality of justice delivery in Nigeria and enhance the confidence of the people in the justice sector forms part of the consensus at the summit. In Abuja, Mina Daniels, NTA News.
Another escape of about 119 inmates, as reported by the Nigeria Correctional Service during a rainstorm in Suleja, has again highlighted the weak physical structure in some of the correctional centers in the country. Speaking on the urgent need to rehabilitate the custodial centers and to modernize the inmate administration process, a network of non-governmental organizations called attention to the need for exploring the full potential of the Nigeria Correctional Service Act 2019 to prevent jailbreaks in future.
Place aging infrastructure, modernize them, equip them with relevant facilities that will help to advance security measures the utilization of monitoring device, and many other facilities that are stipulated under Section 28 of the Nigerian Correctional Service Act of 2019.
What has happened in Suleja throws up the need, like she has rightly read out in Section 12, for a reinforcement of our custodial centers.
Restorative and, think about restoring the people, as opposed to just punishing them. Punishment clearly has not worked. It hasn't worked in any country.
Kwara, Kano, Ebonyi, Edo, and Anambra states were commended for taking concrete steps to implement the non-custodial sentencing measures, a concept noted to reduce overcrowding in custodial centers. Now, time to take a look at the weather prospects for Nigeria and other cities of the world. And this is where we end the news. Thank you for being a part of it. My name is Frama Panyi. Taiwo Ozoma has been the sign language interpreter.